Hi, today's video is to independent team leaders and independent companies to explore EXP and decide if they should consider this new company, new model. I just finished reaching out to the top agents in my market that have been at the top of their game for a very long time. And these agents, along with me, have been on the front page, have been in the top 10 for years and years and years. And that's a hard thing to do. It's harder to stay at number one than it is to get to number one. So before I made the move from RE/MAX to EXP, I actually had a long talk with myself. I really had a lot of prayer. I had a lot of thought on whether I wanted to be an independent company or whether I wanted to join another brand. And it was not an easy decision. After years of working, I had a little equity built up in past clients, and by advertising, some people knew my name. So I knew I could keep it going as an independent, but I really wanted to think about it on a very deep level. So I did open my mind to the opportunity at EXP, and I found out that I really like to keep this business kind of hot and fresh. I love the challenge. I like working with top team leaders, and EXP offered me that. But really the first thing that came into play when I started considering EXP was that they had established health insurance. And health insurance is something that I purchased for my inside team years ago, well, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago at the most, and it was a big deal to me to finally be able to give an asset similar to what big companies offer people when they come to work. And this is a milestone for small business, which I consider my team small business. But when I noticed that EXP had an offering of health insurance, I looked into it and I found out it wasn't just a half-hearted attempt. This was really great health insurance that saved some of my agents a lot of money and saved also my team members money. So I found out, and I thought about it, and I said, there's been other big companies. There's other big companies in this industry of real estate, and why they could have done this, but nobody had done it before EXP offered health insurance to their agents and to their workers. So lots of people could solve it, but nobody did until EXP. So that was really the first thing that got my attention. And then the next thing that got my attention is that EXP is not a franchise. It's just a brand new model. So I didn't have to invest in a franchise. That was interesting, and yet this was the fourth largest company, privately owned company in the United States, and it was through all 50 states and 2 countries. So I knew a little bit about doing business in other states and how challenging that could be. But then I found out that actually at EXP, you could do business in any other state because they're set up in all 50 states and Australia and the United Kingdom if you decide to do it. So I asked myself, could I do this if I remained as an independent company? And I really couldn't. So I thought about that deeply, and then I just really thought about the way teams have been evolving in our industry since I've been in real estate. And they started from the very small nucleus of maybe one lead agent and a couple of buyer's agents, and then they've just grown into these mammoth things where in some companies, actually, you've got the whole company doing business under maybe the owner's name, and that becomes a team for a national brand, and they're really a team in name only. Team in name only. They're not really together. They're just independent agents doing business. But there's also the other teams that are closer knit people that are really working together and working in each other's business. So there really is 2 types of teams. After I noticed the health insurance, I asked myself, what else could EXP do that I couldn't do for my people, that I couldn't do for people that came to work with me, and that maybe I couldn't do for the people that worked in my office as support agents. And one more forever problem that we've had in real estate has been the problem that this career doesn't offer great retirement. Actually, a lot of people retire from another business and then get into real estate, which is not getting the best of the best. And I love this industry. I really appreciate what it's done for me. So I want to see real estate get the best talent that there is out there. And I knew that real estate agents had a problem in retiring and filling up their retirement accounts. So can you do that as an independent agent if you own an independent brand? Yeah, I think you probably could do that, but I would tell you that few, if any, have done that for their agents. But EXP has solved that problem in two ways. The two ways are through rev share, which I'll explain in a little bit. And the biggest thing you need to understand about rev share is actually the meaning and the advantage of residual income and adding residual income, whether it's $25,000 a year extra, whether it's $100,000 a year or even more. Adding income to your business is a good way to help you retire. I think this has been a wonderful thing, and it's really like a retirement account. The earlier you start, if you're just now starting your real estate career, residual income comes when you share EXP with another agent. And even if you were just to add one agent a month, or maybe even less than that, 10 agents a year, after 3 years, you're going to have a significant retirement account or residual income that's coming in. There's a second way, I'll tell you about that in a minute, but let me give you a little bit about the cycle of real estate. You know, I've been in real estate over 30 years, so I know a little history. So real estate history 101 is that Coldwell Banker was a big national brand that started early in the 1900s, been around over 100 years, folks, and for years and years and years it was only Coldwell Banker and independent brands. Later on came Century 21, and the first big disruptor to this industry was in 1973 when a young man by the name of Dave Liniger stepped in and said, man, these top producers are getting ripped off by their broker owners because they're only getting 50%. They're bringing all the money in. And so he started a company called RE/MAX, and RE/MAX really was a disruptor. And for 10 years, everybody thought he was stark raving mad. They hated him in this industry. And of course, he went on to build one of the biggest real estate entities in the world with RE/MAX, and I was a member of RE/MAX, owned a franchise with them for over 20 years. And then the next big disruptor was actually KW, Keller Williams, with Gary Keller, and it got bigger much quicker. It started in 1984, and one of the benchmarks in real estate is when do you get to 100,000 agents? And KW got to 100,000 agents within about 10 years, so it really was a faster market shift. And the founder of EXP, Glenn Sanford, actually worked for Keller Williams in the early 2000s, and he went to Gary Keller and told him about this new model that he was thinking about for EXP. And you know, Gary Keller said, no, I can't do that, because when you think about it, every time a sale is made, whether it was in Keller Williams, whether it was in Coldwell Banker, or whether it was in RE/MAX, some of that money went back to the founder, Dave Liniger, Gary Keller, or the group of people that own Coldwell Banker now. With this new disruptor, EXP, every time a sale is made, some of that money goes back to the agent. That's the reason it's so radically different. It's a brokerage in the cloud, which is changing the way we do real estate. So it's a company where you can actually get in early and build up equity in a very large company. Since Glenn Sanford started EXP in the early 2000s, lots of things have happened in our industry. We got OfferPad, we've got Zillow, Redfin. The world has changed. It's changed so radically, and the changes have changed against the agent. In other words, the flow of this business is going to take business away from the agent. There's no flow that's actually putting back into the agent, and I believe EXP is breaking that mold, and I see it as the only company that's actually putting money back in the pockets of the agents. So this has happened in our business. And the other thing that I would tell you is trophies instead of stock share. Which one would you want? You know, I said there was 2 ways that EXP agent plan for retirement. And EXP is a publicly traded company. Actually, I was at lunch yesterday with a friend of mine who started out in real estate, and then she became very successful in the stock market. And I said, I've got some EXP stock, and it was $12 when I first got in. She looked it up real quickly, and she said, it's $16.95 now. Now, stock is not my industry, but I do know that stock is a good thing to hold for your retirement. And with EXP, every time you reach your goal, we call it a cap. Every time you reach your cap, you get stock. Every time you bring somebody in to our company and help that agent succeed, you get stock. And the last thing is every time you make a sale, your first sale at EXP, you make stock. So I love this aspect of it. You get to buy stock. You actually, another way to retire is to buy stock, use 5% of your gross commission income and buy the stock at a 10% discount. Folks, this is great. I mean, this is a great, I've worked with some very disciplined agents over the years that did allocate a certain amount of their income every single year to their retirement account. But the truth of it is I've worked with a lot more agents that didn't. And when they retired, they really had nothing to count on. Or when they got sick, they had nothing to count on. So this is a fabulous way to add income to your retirement, add to your portfolio to get you financially secure. And I can promise you one thing, I got a room full of trophies from RE/MAX, and if they had given me stock instead of those trophies, I can assure you there would still be a balloon on my sign. So I think really one of the big things for an independent company or for a team leader to determine when they're thinking whether they should give EXP a deeper look is ask yourself a question. Do you like talent, or do you want to be the bright and shining star on your team? You know, some team leaders that I've met over the year are really intimidated by their own team's talent. If they hire somebody, they don't have the ability maybe to hire somebody that's sharper than them. And I heard a long time ago, the best way to really succeed in life is to surround yourself with people that are sharper than you are. And I've been fortunate to be able to do that. I am more than okay, and you will be more than okay with somebody outdoing you if you become a team leader in EXP, because what's happened in the old model of team leading is, and it's happened to everybody, it hasn't just happened to me, is you bring somebody in, maybe you even pay for them to get their real estate license, you are for them, you train them, you teach them the business, and then they leave you and start a team of their own. It's happened to all of us that have been in this business over 10 years and have a team. But yet talent is what our business is about. It's what any business is about. So we ought to be able to offer a talent package for our inside team support and for our agents. And I think EXP has offered an incredible talent package by giving you stock instead of trophies. So I love that aspect of it. Another big asset of EXP that I love personally is just to help women create big businesses. You know, I was talking to somebody about the team leaders in this country, and I got nothing against my male friends and my male team leaders, but it's about 80%, at least 75%, are led by men. And why is that? Because women are out selling real estate just hands down. They are just doing a great job. And talent plays to win. So I want to win. If I'm coming to work, I want to give it 110%, and I want to help and mentor as many women as I possibly can to take over the landscape, or at least even it up just a little bit. You know, Mike Ferry, I've been trained by him for over 20 years now, and he used to say, when I'd fly out to California, he says, "This is an antiquated, outdated business." And Mike, you were so very, very right by saying that. The MLSs, he talks about being banned and rebanned from MLSs and from various companies because of the way he taught. It is antiquated. It is outdated. But guess what? Time is catching up with us, and you can't compete as an independent company with EXP. You can't compete because they have express offers, which is equal to Open Door, Redfin, Zillow, and all the new tech companies that are out there trying to steal your business. And I talk to people that are in small towns that don't have any of these big tech players yet. And you know what? They're coming. Some of the big ones are going to come to the very small towns. I predict that Redfin will infiltrate every single town in this country. So what is the big difference between EXP and the company that you're in? And it's without the brick and mortar, you can do a lot. You have a lot more money, you're more nimble, you can move quicker, you've got a broker in the crowd. You could actually have equal the biggest company. I think the biggest company in my area probably has 800 agents. And you could have 800 agents without the liability of being their broker in charge, which takes a lot off your shoulders. You could just run a really small team and just recruit on a regular basis great agents who want great opportunity, who have vision and are really able to think big. So to really succeed in business or any other business, you got to be willing to risk. You got to be willing to fail. It's new and it's exciting, and it's also a challenge. There's nothing easy about totally changing the way you do business. But selling homes, getting other agents involved in selling homes and earning residual income, buying stock at 10% discount and earning money when that stock sells. There are just lots of ways to earn money in EXP. I learned something from Jay Kinder probably about 12 years ago, 14 years ago. He came to Raleigh with an opportunity that I ended up joining. And since then, Jay Kinder and Michael Reese have paid a price to be as good as they are. They've paid enormous amounts of money to be trained by the best personal trainers, by the best leadership training in the world. And I love one thing that Jay said. He said, assume you're wrong in your thinking. When you think about a new opportunity, assume that you are wrong instead of having that knee-jerk reaction that so many of us have. And I have to think about people that come here from other countries and that seize opportunity that we have in America, and that become, they're janitor one day and the next week, 2 weeks you go back, or a month or a year, and they own the place. So assuming you're wrong is a really good way to look at new opportunities. But let me warn you, if you're obsessed with your status quo and looking good and never taking a risk because you're at the stage that you like where you are, when's the last time you risked anything? You can make a living or you can take over, and I give that one to Holly Brewer because she said it better than me. You can do this business at a higher level than you ever dreamed. So you need to be around people that are thinking at a much larger, much broader scale than you're currently thinking, or the same things that will happen to you the next few years that have happened to you the last few years. So we'll do better in this industry as a whole if we appeal to talent. And I think EXP appeals to talent. Every day that I'm allowed to stay in this great business that has been so very good to me, I'm going to bring my A game for my team, for my clients, for my family. I want to give it everything as I've got, as long as I'm working. When I'm not working, believe me, I'll be on a beach somewhere. But when you assume that you're wrong, like Jay Kinder says, and open up your mind to different thoughts, you'll take opportunity seriously. And you'll see more than you've seen in the past. As I said, I love women-owned businesses, and I'd love to mentor women and men that just want to take over, that know that they can work hard and attain their goals and have got a big vision for their life and their business and for the opportunity that they want to offer to their team members, to their company members. So I just want to follow up and end up with a saying I like a lot. It says, our mind follows the words that we think. So I want you to think bigger than you've ever thought before, because words have so much power. I want you to think way more positive than you've ever thought before. I want you to expand your mind. So if you're the type of leader or business owner that wants to build up the people around you, consider EXP. If you want to be around talented people, consider EXP. If you want to love what you do and have fun with it, consider EXP. And if you want to challenge yourself, have more opportunity, give more opportunities to those that come into your life, consider EXP. I hope to hear from you soon. We're glad to talk to you about it anytime. Reach out to us. Day or night, we'll be around. Take care.